boat's at 5 o'clock. We have less than 3 hours.
2 hours and 49 minutes.
40.
2 hours and 49 minutes.
And I'll confirm that with Ashley when she gets here. I like it.
Maybe something less neutral.
I'm sure.
Neutral.
Maybe something less neutral.
I'm sure.
It's harder to say no twice than once.
I'll stay out of your way.
Like you did on the Watershed Act.
We're on the same side of the fence this time.
Fence.
We're on the same side of the fence this time.
If I can get him to turn his people.
It's a lot of eggs to put in one basket.
We only have one basket.
Basket.
We only have one basket.
Mr. Vice President,
Please, it's always frank to you.
I came because you asked me, but don't mistake that for false hope.
False.
I came because you asked me, but don't mistake that for false hope. I don't drink caffeine.
Then decaf.
Still has caffeine.
Well, enjoy the free oxygen.
Oxygen.
Well, enjoy the free oxygen. Well, really only half.
Half of zero is still zero.
I had to pull every trick in the book.
Trick.
I had to pull every trick in the book. Just a few more minutes, Donald. You haven't even had your seltzer yet.
They have 7 other data centers spread across the Northeast.
Northeast.
They have 7 other data centers spread across the Northeast. They have 7 other data centers spread across the Northeast.
Those aren't good odds.
Odd.
Those aren't good odds.
Well, because I run a white hat firm, and if I were to show up in the tour logs before a breach, it would raise alarms.
Alarm.
She would raise alarms.
I've lost count.
Wish me luck with Donald.
Heels crossed.
Heel.
Heels crossed.
We typically understand our version of the bill. Some of us have to stay on our feet.
This is about party unity.
Unity.
This is about party unity.
I apologize, sir. We can have someone notify her.
No, it needs to be me. She gets very anxious if she doesn't recognize the voice.
Anxious.
She gets very anxious if she doesn't recognize the voice.
For all we know, it could be midnight before he's out, and then he still needs to manage the vote.
We're fine if it's 2 a.m.
When everyone's asleep.
Asleep.
Mrs. Underwood and Ashley, one-on-one.
Maybe we can broadcast his voice.
Broadcast.
Maybe we can broadcast his voice.
No. Hurts every time. You spend 30 years with someone and then they don't have a damn clue who you are.
Clue.
And then they don't have a damn clue who you are. Using my wife.
Donald, what are you saying?
You think I'll give in on entitlement if you slap some extra Alzheimer's funding on the table?
Slap.
And if you slap some extra Alzheimer's funding on the table?
As hazmat crews continue a thorough sweep of the building. Earlier this morning, a white powder-like substance was...
Powder.
Earlier this morning, a white powder-like substance was...
Oh, my goodness, that was red.
An accomplished writer?
Rider.
An accomplished writer?
For me.
You didn't like the prep school?
No, I think I preferred the dirt.
Dirt.
No, I think I preferred the dirt.
The sort of pest that belongs in Paul's waste treatment.
Jackie.
We have a possible terror attack. And
Terror.
we have a possible terror attack. And you're...
Jackie.
We have a possible terror attack. And you're holding out your plates for more pork. You should be
Pork.
And you're holding out your plates for more pork. You should be
I never dreamed he would become vice president, of course.
Some people think that your marriage may be a bit more calculated than you let on. That
calculate, calculate,
Calculated, then you let on that. Was that a sacrifice? Because you haven't had any.
Francis and I wanted to devote our lives to public service.
devote, devote,
Francis and I wanted to devote our lives to public service.
In your husband's second congressional campaign, there was a Republican, a pro-family candidate, who
Pro.
was a Republican, a pro-family candidate, who he claimed that you may have been pregnant during the campaign. Was there a pregnancy?
pregnancy, pregnancy,
Was there a pregnancy?
No, it'll look like I am ashamed. I'm not, and I won't.
Nothing you can say will make this any better. I'd rather do it
I'm
again.
not going.
damn, damn,
I'd rather do it
I'm
again.
not going.
You can't say any of this. Go upstairs, I'll deal with Ashley.
If we're gonna get
upstairs, upstairs,
Upstairs, I'll deal with Ashley.
if we're gonna get
I just didn't want to be stared at. I didn't want to be known as the girl who got raped.
rape, rape,
I didn't want to be known as the girl who got raped. I didn't want to be known as the girl who got raped. And when I became pregnant, I wasn't going to drop out of school.
pregnant, pregnant,
And when I became pregnant, I wasn't going to drop out of school. For the first time in almost 30 years, just a few months ago.
Where?
At a commissioning ceremony that Francis and I attended.
Ceremony. Ceremony.
At a commissioning ceremony that Francis and I attended. At a commissioning ceremony that Francis and I attended.
Did you speak to him?
Briefly. Francis pinned stars on him.
pin, pin,
Briefly. Francis pinned stars on him.
She wants to share her story, but she won't give her name. Can't put her on if she's anonymous.
anonymous, anonymous,
Can't put her on if she's anonymous.
And don't. Just get 4 of your people to do it. And then work with me after we avoid the freeze. I'm not.
freeze, freeze,
And then work with me after we avoid the freeze. I'm not.
And I felt so helpless. And he keeps rising in the ranks. The system protects him.
rank, rank,
He keeps rising in the ranks. The system protects him.
Hennessy, thank you for your courage in joining us tonight.
It was Mrs. Underwood who gave me the courage.
courage, courage,
It was Mrs. Underwood who gave me the courage.
Thank you, Ashley. And that concludes our live one-on-one exclusive interview with Claire Underwood.
exclusive, exclusive,
One-on-one exclusive interview with Claire Underwood.
Small time. That's not your concern. He couldn't write a line of code to save his life.
He intends to commit an act of cyber terrorism.
No, that's
terrorism, terrorism,
Intends to commit an act of cyber terrorism.
well, that's he couldn't write a line of code to save his life.
He intends to commit an act of cyber terrorism.
Well, that's intention, not capability. He's not a real threat.
Maybe
capability, capability,
That's intention, not capability. He's not a real threat.
maybe
utility, utility,